to say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. All right. First and foremost, we thank each and every one of you once again for the co-creation of this interaction. It is always our passion and our pleasure to interact with each and every and all of you. This transmission has been titled, "The Past, the Present, and the Future Are Within You." And we will get to that in a moment. But let us give a brief recap about the concept of time. First and foremost, you have now for many years been talking about the idea that time is an illusion, and it is. In that sense, it isn't quote-unquote real, but it is real as an experience. And you create it with your consciousness in a very specific way. As many of you are beginning to realize, there are an infinite number of probable realities that, in a sense, overlap all at once, simultaneously, coexisting with what you consider your reality to be. And the idea is that time is a side effect created by shifting the focus of your consciousness through different parallel reality frameworks, literally billions of times per second. It's like your movie projector is your consciousness, focusing through different frames on a so-called film strip of reality. And as you illuminate frame by frame by frame by frame, you create this illusion, this projection of time and space and movement and change. Each and every frame has no movement in and of itself, no experience in and of itself. So you have to create the idea of continuity, one frame after another in linear terms, to create this idea, this projection, this holographic structure you call physical reality, space, time. Now, the idea of creating this is to give you a particular experience that allows you to forget that you are a greater being, and then go through a process of remembering that you are a greater being, but from a new point of view, a new discovery, a new perspective of yourself. This is how creation expands, because you see, the structure of existence never changes. What changes, what expands creation, is your relationship to, your reflection of, your perspective of, and your experience of that structure that never changes. So by creating these different perspectives, these different points of view of the same structure, you continue to expand creation, and all that is can experience itself in all the ways that it's possible to experience itself through each and every one of your unique viewpoints, being reflections of all that is. But the idea now is that for many millennia, you have been dealing with this concept of time in certain ways, but now it's time to start dealing with time in a different way. First and foremost, by even knowing and understanding that it is your projection, that it is a side effect of your consciousness, shifting these billions of times per second, the product of knowing that, the product of becoming aware that you're already shifting that quickly, is what creates this sensation you call acceleration. It's not that you actually accelerate or shift any faster than you have always been shifting. It's that by becoming more aware of the rate of shift, you experience it as a reflection in your physical reality more and more and more, and it appears as if your reality is actually accelerating. This expands your senses so that you can see more, feel more, be in touch with more things from a broader perspective, a higher point of view. And it allows you to experience physical reality as more flexible, more malleable, more plastic, where you can experience things like synchronicity more often, and other kinds of side effects of space and time that allow you to know that it is your projection, that it is your creation, and you can begin to have more conscious awareness of how to use it artistically to your advantage. The idea now, as we titled this, is that you have for a long time been anchored to this concept of the past creating your present. And as we have said many times, this is not actually true. It may be a description of the kind of experience you're having, but there's a big difference between a description of an experience from your space-time point of view and a description of the actual mechanism underlying the experience. Two very different things very often. So the idea that you experience in space-time is that your past generates your present. In truth, your present generates your past. Because there is only now. There is only here. This is the only place you exist. It is the only place you create from. Therefore, when you define who and what you are in this present experience of yourself, by changing yourself literally into a different person every moment, and I mean this literally, it's not a metaphor, every moment, any change, total and complete change, you are a different person literally, on a different version of Earth literally, in a different multiverse literally. Therefore, every single time you change yourself, by whatever amount or degree, in whatever way, you are truly a new person. So in working through the idea of the framework of space-time, to make it make sense, logically, as you say, you have to have, linearly speaking, a new past that determines how you became the person you are now in the present that's different. So every single time you become a different person, that different person has a new past. Now, the idea may not seem to be that. You may go, well, I remember being this, and I remember being that, and that doesn't seem to have changed. But the point is, you don't actually know whether it's changed or not. Because when you become a new person and create a new past, it's going to seem from your present perspective that you always had that past, because that's the only past that makes sense for the person you are now. You don't know how many pasts you may have had in this life you call a single lifetime. The idea is that your history is constantly dynamically changing. When you understand that's how it works, when you understand that that's a description of the actual underlying mechanism at work, then regardless of what the experience appears to be, you will start to realize that you are changing your past every moment that you change yourself by any degree of definition, and that means you are free truly to experience whatever you prefer to experience, unlocking yourself from the idea of anything in the past that controls you in the present, which it doesn't. You simply create the illusion of continuity that in the present recreates the idea of the so-called memory, but the memory is not of the past. You're recreating that memory in the present as part of the definition of your present self. So if you break continuity and stop defining yourself that way, you actually will experience the results of having a different past, because it will show you that you have a completely different present that has nothing at all to do with what the past used to be for whoever that other person was that is no longer you. Is this making some sense? We understand that sometimes these higher dimensional concepts can seem a little bit challenging, a little bit confusing, but don't worry, you'll get used to it. The idea is that you are beginning to think multidimensionally, and this is why we share multidimensional perspectives with you, because it stretches your ability to really experience yourself as a multidimensional being, which is what you are. Please remember that the idea is your greater self is your natural state. You are not really naturally physical people. You are greater non-physical entities, non-physical consciousness. You never really actually leave what we'll call the spirit realm. You have never left it. You're there right now, dreaming that you're not. That's what physical reality is. A dream you are having in spirit that you're no longer in spirit. So when you wake up from the physical dream, you go, oh, that was just a dream. This is who I really am. Much in the same way when you are physical and wake up from a dream, no matter how real the dream seemed in your sleep time, you wake up and go, oh, that was just a dream. Very real dream, but that was just a dream, and this is who I really am. The same thing will happen when you transition into spirit. Oh, that was just a dream. This is who I really am, but I can learn from that dream. What is it I went there to learn? What is it I dreamt I needed to know? That's what you will do. But continuing on with the idea of how you use space and time in a new way, in this new understanding, is that, as we have said, for a long time, you anchored yourself into this concept of the past. But now, as you transition and you start living more in the present, you begin to realize that you are free to choose where the so-called influence actually comes from. If you want to create this concept of continuity and being influenced by something, you can switch the idea of being influenced from your so-called past to starting to be influenced from your so-called future self. Because even in this life, you have future selves every moment. Now you are here, now you are here, now you are here. But this here was the future of that first now you are here. So the idea is that every moment as you're shifting again billions of times per second, you can begin to shift your focus forward, so to speak, still living in the present, but understanding that you're now drawing information, energy, and experience, not so much from the past anymore, unless it serves you to do so, but now from the future you, who is urging you and encouraging you forward and forward and forward into your higher self, into the self you prefer to be. And as this switch occurs, and as this focus shifts, you will begin to feel more communication from the higher mind, more synchronicity in your life, because you know that the future you, or what you deem to be the future you, is living that way. And so as that becomes more real for you, as you in the future become more real to you in the present, in the same way that the you in the so-called past has been real for you for so long, as you shift that focus to the future you and that becomes more real, you will gain more insight. You will be able to be and mirror that version of you more and more easily, more and more effortlessly, and you will start living the life in the present of what you deem the future to be. Is this making some sense? So you are shifting your focus now because, again, as we say, the so-called past and the present and the future all exist within you. There is no out there. It is a reflection, just like a mirror in your reality. If you're looking in a mirror and you see your reflection frowning, you don't go over to the mirror and shout at it to change the reflection. The only way the mirror will be able to smile at you is if you smile first. If you are waiting for the outer reality to change to make a difference in your life, you will wait forever. But when you decide to change, no matter what's going on around you in the reflection, that is proof of true change, because you're not making your change conditional on what's going on in the outer reflection. You're saying that doesn't really matter to me, because I know that I can allow anything to serve me in a positive way. I am not basing my state of being on the old-fashioned, outdated meanings that others have given to what's going on in this reality. I get to decide what this means. I get to decide what the definitions are that work for me, because I am my own reality. I am my own unique point of view, and I get to say what goes. So the idea is for you to start relaxing the old definitions and realize at any given moment what definitions you are applying to things that don't work for you, and start applying definitions that do. Because as you have experienced, existence is going to support you no matter what you choose. It doesn't really contradict you. It can't. Again, in the same way that the mirror can't contradict you for whatever your facial expression is. It has to give you back what it is you're giving off. That's simply the way it's structured. So if it has supported you when you're frowning and given you negative synchronicity, why wouldn't it support you when you decide to smile and get positive synchronicity? It will not contradict you. It absolutely will not, because it's waiting for you to determine who you are, what state of being you prefer, so it can reflect that to you. It doesn't care what you choose, because it's unconditionally supportive. That's what unconditional means. You are so unconditionally supported, in fact, you are even allowed to believe that you are not unconditionally supported. That's how unconditionally supported you are. So if you can believe that you are not unconditionally supported, you're not going to be contradicted when you start to believe that you are supported unconditionally. It's just that you have the control. So allow yourself to take the time to explore the idea of connecting more to your own future self in this life, knowing that your future self is already experiencing simultaneously the kinds of things that you prefer to experience in your life now, in the present, so that you can act more like that version of you and become more like that version of you in the new presents that keep coming as you flow your projector light through the present frame, present frame, present frame, present frame. And by acting on your passion and staying in your center and staying in the positive state and extracting the benefit from whatever is happening, then you navigate yourself through all the frames that are more and more and more and more indicative and reflective of that reality you say you prefer to experience, because you're the one creating that within yourself. It's not coming from outside, it's coming from within you. One final very important thing is that to remember, it doesn't matter what happens. It matters what you do with what happens. That's what makes the difference in your reality. It makes all the difference in the world. Does that make sense? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to share this idea. Let it sink in its own good time. Make it your own. Use it how you will. And have fun with it. Remember, the first step toward enlightenment is to lighten up. Don't take things so seriously. Have some fun. It's a process. Life is a process, but it can be an energizing, exciting, ecstatic, synchronistic one if you allow it to be. Each and every one of you has a current in the ocean of creation that is unique to you. Going with the flow means you allow yourself to know that the current knows where you need to go. Go with that flow. Don't resist. Don't swim upstream. Unless, of course, you enjoy pain. The idea is to know that surrender is not surrendering control. Surrender is surrendering to the control that's already innately built into you. Allow it to express itself through synchronicity, through imagination, through being here and now, which is all there is. In return for the gift that you are allowing our civilization to experience in each and every one of you, I ask you now, in what way may we be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and dialogue, if you wish.
So, are you ready? Okay.
Divided the UFO community, I guess. Many people believe that abductions occur, many people believe that they don't. Can you explain to me whether or not abduction is happening and whether or not it's malevolent, or I guess why? What is the interest in human beings?
All right, this is a long story. They are happening. It is not malevolent, though it may not contain the emotional component that most humans require for comfort. The analogy might be, on a simple level, that if you know a child needs to see a doctor, but they are afraid, but you know it's for their benefit, then they will be taken anyway, regardless of how they feel. The idea here is to understand that there is something very large going on. It involves humanity, and it involves humanity from a parallel reality. The beings that you refer to, in general, that are most often associated with the so-called detainment or abduction or contact phenomena, this idea is that they are mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth. They destroyed their version of Earth. They needed to mutate themselves in order to thrive to a certain point, but use their advanced technology to shift into parallel realities such as yours, where they would find viable human DNA that would allow them to perpetuate their civilization, because the destruction of their world had caused them to have the inability to reproduce, and they were dying out.
Right.
Because of the mutation, they appear to you to be extraterrestrial. They are not. They are simply humans from another parallel version of Earth, that have come to your version of Earth and other versions of Earth to gather human DNA to create hybrid species, such as my own civilization, in order to perpetuate their culture and survive. In return, as a gift, for the gift you have given them and us for our existence, we assist you by giving you information that ideally would prevent your culture from going down the same destructive path that their culture went down, so that you don't have to experience the same thing that they did. That is the short version of the story.
That's a lot. And so, but abductions are still happening now. I mean,
Not so much, although some do still continue, but that agenda has gone into a different phase of acclimation. So now the hybrids that have been created are temporarily, from time to time, brought to Earth in secret, allowed to learn what human society is all about, so they can learn to adapt, for eventually they will come to live among you when you are ready for it and they are ready for it. But for now, they are being trained to understand the differences between your human society and their society. They are now raised mostly on ships, but many humans in what you call dream time, or asleep or awake, are brought aboard the ships, either physically or altered in a physical reality that is slightly off from yours, to teach the children, instruct the children, to allow them to learn to interact, to teach them the ways of Earth, as they also teach those humans the ways of the hybrid children that will eventually come to live among you. This is all part of the agenda of the evolution of humanity into what we call the sixth hybrid race.
the sixth hybrid race.
We are the third hybrid race. There are two before us, and there are two after us, forming 5 hybrid races. Humanity on Earth is evolving into the sixth hybrid race as a part of its natural evolution, its natural ability to raise its frequency, its vibration, and become part of the galactic family in earnest.
But do we have enough time? Because, I mean, we've really ballsed up this planet. We've made a lot of mistakes, and I mean, like, is it going to be a rapid transition between the 4th, the 5th, to the 6th?
There is something that we must explain to you about the idea of time and the idea of the Earth that you are now experiencing. Many people are of the idea that you change the planet you're on. You don't. The planet you're on never changes. You change yourself, your frequency, and you shift to another parallel version of Earth that is already more representative and reflective of the change in frequency you made within yourself. You're doing this constantly without even knowing it. We are shifting all right now, billions, literally billions of times per second. What scientists on your planet have called the idea of Planck time is the so-called tick of the clock of physical reality. You are shifting 10 to the 43rd power every second to different parallel versions of Earth, but doing it so smoothly you think you're on the same Earth you were on a moment ago. You are not. So the idea is to navigate this shifting by raising your frequency, by becoming more expanded in your awareness, so that you're constantly shifting yourself in the direction of more and more versions of Earth that are more like the versions you prefer to experience. Not everyone on your planet will do that. Some of them will go to alternate versions. Right now, you can still perceive each other because you still have the ability and free will to choose among all the different pathways that people on your planet are choosing. Positive, negative, neutral, what have you. But eventually, as you keep choosing in the direction of your preference, in the years to come, you will no longer be capable of perceiving the people that have chosen diametrically opposing paths, or ones that are simply no longer vibrationally compatible with what you prefer. And the only world you will experience will be the world where only the similar vibrations to your own will be able to be experienced by you, and similar vibrations to the other paths will be able to be experienced by them, but you will never meet in physical reality in that way again. You will meet in spirit, but not in physical reality, because you will have chosen different versions of parallel realities to play out the Earth game.
Yep.
To more specifically address your idea, yes, there is time for those that choose to take the actions, the physical actions on your planet that would be representative of the kind of world that you choose, that you prefer to experience. So taking those actions is of paramount importance to represent, to show through physical actions, which is the language of physical reality, what kind of a world you do wish to shift to more and more and more. And therefore there is always enough time if those people taking those actions will take them when they truly are moved to take them. They will then have enough time because they will create the time in the new world. They will create a shifting scenario that will bring with it enough time. Those that don't choose to take those actions will run out of the perceived idea of time and will experience possible devastations, similar to what the Greys experienced before they mutated.
Okay. So first contact is coming. I believe that
First contact is happening.
That's
That's why
right
you're
now.
talking with us.
Oh, that's happening right now. I mean, first contact on a mass scale where all of humanity is made aware that there are extraterrestrials.
All of humanity who shifts to the version of Earth that is open to the idea of contact. Those that do not shift there will not experience it.
When would this occur for those people?
The highest probability that we sense in the energy, the collective energy, at this point, is that there may be a large contact event sometime around the end of your year of 2026 or the beginning of your year of 2027. This does not mean that open contact will occur everywhere at once. But we sense in your energy that there will be certain circumstances and situations on your planet that will bring about a requirement that some form of contact event will occur around that time and be relatively evident to most individuals on your planet.
So
this will change the mindset of your world sufficiently so that those choosing to accelerate in a more positive direction toward the idea of more open contact can do so, and the others may decide for themselves what they wish to do in relation to that event.
So a lot of people will watch this interview, and a lot of people will want to know what can they do so that they can evolve alongside us to be part of that collective in 2026.
This is where we give you the information that we refer to as the formula, the instruction manual, or the cosmic compass, for it is literally a boiled down depiction, a boiled down description of how physical reality is created by your consciousness. And knowing this consciously is like following an instruction manual that will allow you more conscious control over the direction in which you navigate. The formula, as you say, in a nutshell, though we're not completely certain why you always stuff these things into nutshells, is, number one, to act on your highest passion every moment that you can. Number two, act on it for as long as you can, to the best of your ability, until you can act on it no further, at which point look around for the next thing that you are capable of acting on that represents the highest form of excitement or passion in your life. Number three, to act on that passion with absolutely zero assumption or insistence on what the outcome should look like, because the truth is you have no idea what the ideal outcome actually needs to look like. Number four, remain in a positive state no matter what manifests, even if it's something you don't prefer, because if you remain in a positive state, you will always be able to use whatever manifests, even if it's not something you prefer, to your benefit, because staying in the positive state will allow you to see and be inspired by what has happened in a way that will take you in a positive direction. Right. Number five, finally, examine your belief systems and let go of the negative and fear-based ones and the definitions that don't work for you, because you are the creator of your reality. Now, why is it important to act on your passion? Many people have said this kind of phrase in your reality, but not many have explained why that works and why it's important. People on your planet say, yes, follow your dreams, act on your bliss, follow your passion. But why? It works like this. You have a physical mind as a physical being, but you also have a non-physical higher mind as a spirit. These two things exist simultaneously. In fact, spirit is your natural state. this physical reality, in a sense, is just a dream that your spirit is having. So when you bifurcate the idea of your consciousness into a non-physical higher mind, higher frequency that is, and a physical mind of slightly lower frequency, you need the higher mind to guide you. It's like having someone standing on a mountaintop guiding you through a valley. They can see what the pitfalls are and can tell you, turn left, turn right, don't go there, you'll fall down a hole. The physical mind needs to pay attention to this in order to be guided properly. But the physical mind has free will and can ignore this guidance, if it so chooses, to its own detriment, usually. But the idea is that the higher mind communicates in energy. It doesn't use words. It may use pictures, images, and energy. The way the physical body and the physical mind interprets a message from the higher mind that comes to you in energy is through the sensation you call passion, excitement, creativity, love. So when you act on your highest passion, on the circumstances and situations and opportunities that present themselves to you synchronistically in life that contain more excitement than any other option at that moment, you are actually paying attention to the higher mind saying, this is you. This is the next step on your path. This is the guidance that you're asking for. This is your sign. And therefore, when you act on it, you are responding to the higher mind, saying, all right, I heard you. I am willing to understand this is the guidance you are giving me. And when you do that and are willing to act, because again, action is the language of physical reality, not words, not thoughts, actions. When you are willing to act on that passion, you have told the higher mind you are willing to listen to it, and the higher mind can then send you more opportunities that contain passion and excitement and creativity for you to act on. But if you're not willing to act on what the higher mind has already sent you, why should it send you more opportunities that contain excitement? Because you're not going to act on them. So you have to start the ball and the dialogue rolling by being willing to trust that that is the guidance coming from your higher mind to tell you exactly what the next step in your life is. And we understand that for many humans, this may be confusing and difficult because it may seem that what excites you has absolutely nothing at all to do with the things that can support you in life or what it was you were doing a moment ago.
Right.
But it is the excitement that is the connective thread that lets you know it is connected, even if your physical mind can't figure out how it's connected. You have to trust that the path of excitement is the thread to follow, that is the true path for you and representative of the true core vibration of your being.
Wow.
And remember, this is not a philosophy. This is literally a description, like an instruction manual, for how reality is created as an experience in physical reality. So the idea is, if you have an instruction manual to build a piece of machinery, you follow the instructions. If you don't follow the instructions, well, maybe the machine will work and maybe it won't work to your advantage, or maybe you will injure yourself if it does work at all. But by following this, and again, this is not an insistence. You can do whatever you wish. You have free will. You don't have to pay attention to us. This works for us. We know it can work for you because it has worked for many people in your society, just as it works for us. Our society operates on pure synchronism. We are always at the right place at the right time, being exactly who we need to be, being of assistance to those around us exactly when they need us to be. This can happen on your world as well. Following the instructions is simply a way of understanding we are literally describing the structure of existence and how it operates. So if you follow it, you will find that reality will reflect to your advantage a very smooth and effortless path through life that is joyful, creative, constructive. Of course you will have challenges. That's how you grow. But challenges don't mean you have to struggle or suffer in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you.
I had nothing to do with it, but you're
just excited to share about?
I'm having one right now. The idea, however, is I will share this with you. I, along with many others, am in the process right now of engaging with another society that is about to join our association of worlds, our interstellar alliance. The interactions with these beings have been going on for what you would probably call about 10 years of your time. And now they are, as you say, ready and in a state by which they can become members of this alliance. They have had many changes upon their world that allow them to move in this direction that they made by choice. And one thing that is very exciting for myself personally and for our civilization is the ability to experience their society in the way that they have presented themselves, which is a relatively unique kind of expression. They act out, every member of their society acts out stories constantly as their way of communicating ideas. So every being on their planet, in a sense, is an actor. And they create interactions to express what they wish to communicate. They create, in a sense, mini plays. Do you understand?
Yes.
And by acting out these mini plays, they convey, in general terms, the ideas that they wish to share with others. So while the plays on your planet are usually confined to the idea of a theater, so to speak, if there is anything that anyone really wishes to communicate, they will actually set it up in such a way as to allow those that they wish to receive the information to actually experience the transfer of the information as if it were the telling of a story, as if it were the acting out of a play.
I understand.
So even in what you would call a business meeting, it would actually be that a story would be told that contains all the elements they wish to convey about the idea of the process they are going through, and the idea of all the possible outcomes that could occur, of course, with the emphasis on the one that serves everyone the best, in terms of what you would call win-win scenarios. You follow me?
Yes.
And then there is, in that sense, another play that is created to experience alternative ideas that may be what you would call then the idea of negotiating the reality, so that eventually, through all of the storytelling and play acting, there is ultimately arrived at a negotiated reality experience that is then also played out, perhaps for members of the family or friends, to demonstrate the ultimate outcome or result of all the different play acting and storytelling in the back and forth exchange between the different parties. A very interesting and exciting civilization.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
I would like to know if a few of these biblical figures and characters as portrayed in the Bible are in fact real people that have such as Moses, Abraham,
Yes.
Solomon,
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. They were real historical people, if that's what you're asking.
As portrayed in the Bible?
Not completely. Some of it is metaphorical. Some of it is literal. Some of it is an analogy. Some of it is misremembered. Some of it is misinterpreted.
Okay.
Depends on what you are specifically referring to.
For example, did Solomon's temple actually exist?
Yes, it did. And in fact, it actually partly still does. There are still ruins and remnants of the temple that exist.
But you wouldn't actually say Jesus is a prophet or the Son of God.
You are all children of God,
Right, okay.
as are we. And the idea of what Jesus was talking about, or in his own language actually, Yeshua, was the idea that you are all Christ's.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't looking for followers. He wasn't looking for Christians. He was saying that you are all equal to him. That, in that sense, you are all Christ's. You are all children of God. And the phrase, I am the way, simply means, be the way I am. Be like me. And you will be in alignment with your full, true, total self in a relationship with creation.
But for example, when Moses was on the mountain and he received the Ten Commandments from God, what are they referred
not
to when
exactly
they say
from what you, in your religious sects, call God.
Right.
This was actually a communication with extra-dimensional beings.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Bashar, you mentioned that you should always act on your highest excitement.
Well, not should. I am suggesting that you might be willing to, that you might prefer it. I will never tell you what you should or shouldn't do.
Okay.
It's up to you. If you wish to not act on your highest excitement, I'm not going to stop you.
What if your highest excitement is to hurt someone else?
That's not excitement. You have to know the difference. You have to have a clear definition of what excitement is. So when someone says, my excitement is to hurt others, they actually don't have a definition or an understanding of what excitement actually is. Because the only way you would want to do that is out of anxiety and fear. Because if you truly are acting on your excitement and truly in line with a definition that is appropriate of excitement, you will know that you will be self-empowered. And if you're self-empowered, why would you need in any way, shape, or form to hurt anyone else? You understand? It's a contradictory definition. You have to have a clear definition and an understanding of what excitement is, and when you do, you will know that the concept of hurting someone else does not fall under that definition.
Please define your definition of excitement.
It is always a positive thing that allows you to know that you're fully self-empowered and capable of creating and co-creating a reality experience that is always beneficial for you and all concerned. Because remember, as we have said, the greatest power requires the gentlest touch. If you have to intervene or force yourself on someone else, then what that's actually an indication of is you don't actually believe in your own power. Because if you believed in your own power, if you knew you were powerful enough to create the reality that you prefer, why would you need in any way, shape, or form to interfere with anyone else's process? You understand?
Understand.
So you have to have a clear definition of what excitement is, and it's always self-empowering, and it's always that which is best for all concerned, not just yourself.
Understood.
All right. Yes.
Can I have your opinion and understanding about Freemasonry?
Well, that's a large subject.
It is a large subject.
Is there something specific you wish to discuss?
Where did it start? When did it-
Essentially, it started with the idea of the organization you call the Knights Templar. You understand this?
Yes.
Reference?
Yes.
The idea is that in their time, they discovered certain things, certain ideas. Now, really, some of the ideas are very, very ancient and existed way before the Knights Templar. But you ask the question in terms of where the organization of Freemasonry began. And thus then, in that form, it began with the Knights Templar, even though the information that the Knights Templar found out about was very ancient information that preceded them by thousands of years. You understand?
I do. And the information is nothing particularly to be negative. It's how you view it.
Well, yes, of course. And much of what you now understand to be the kind of metaphysical knowledge that we are discussing today is actually what they discovered that was not very well known in your world back then. So a lot of the so-called secrets of Freemasonry and secrets of the Knights Templar and secrets of the mystery schools of Atlantis are all about the metaphysical understanding of how reality works and how you manifest and attract the reality that you prefer. That's really all that information was about. In fact, that's exactly what Jesus was teaching, Buddha was teaching, Krishna was teaching. It's really all the same metaphysical information. It just wasn't really known by the masses. And so because it involved the understanding of how to really use your self-empowerment, it was framed in a way and taught in a way that made it seem to be a very big secret. Because in many cases there would be a great deal of misunderstanding by the general public, and so it was thought that the only way to really preserve the information clearly and cleanly was to pass it down through the mystery schools of those organizations so that it wouldn't be corrupted. You understand?
Perfect, I do.
All right.
Will you be more in tune or standing with a higher frequency or vibration if you are a vegan or vegetarian?
It can work that way, but it again depends upon the person. There are many people who are not vegan or vegetarian who have very high vibrations. It just depends upon what you're exploring and how you explore it and how you align with things. It is possible, and maybe even generally true, for many people on your planet that a lighter diet may be more conducive to a higher frequency of energy. But that isn't always the case. So it really depends on a case-by-case basis. Make sense?
Yes.
It is wise to follow your own instincts your own body consciousness, your own highest excitement, and what seems natural for you. But again, do remember that even Jesus ate fish. Yes?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So the idea really is what you do with it, what the relationships you form with the food, what your understanding is of gratitude for having received what the animal has given to you as a gift to support you. It depends on the relationship. Many indigenous tribes have very, very beneficial relationships with the animals that they eat. And thus it doesn't in any way, shape, or form reduce their vibration. You understand?
I do.
So really, there is a general understanding that as you raise your vibration, it may be that you will feel less need or less urge to consume heavier sustenance, so to speak, but just let that occur naturally. And if you feel the urge to simply be vegan or vegetarian, then by all means act on it and see what happens. If, however, at any point in that process you suddenly feel the need to have some form of protein sustenance that is not vegetarian, trust your body consciousness that it knows what it's doing. You may not need very much, but it may be required for a minimal amount of balancing in a certain way that you may not be acquiring through the vegan diet. But again, it will depend upon your individual frequency as to what works best for you.
Understood.
There's no need to force yourself to be more spiritual. That's a contradiction. Does that make sense?
It does.
Oh.
It does. I just have a few questions. I guess we'll start with one.
Oh, right. That would be a good idea.
Yeah. In this physical reality of existence, is there free will?
Yes. But there is a combination of what you call free will and destiny. It works hand in hand in the following way. When you are a spirit, you generally lay out the idea for a life, the theme of exploration for a life, the things that you wish to learn, to grow from, to experience in general terms, sometimes specific, but overall a general theme or several themes that you desire to explore in the physical incarnation. You could say that that particular theme overall, or series of themes, is the destiny set by the soul. But when you are physically incarnated and have a physical mind, a personality, you are allowed to exercise your free will about exactly how you go about exploring those themes. So you are free to do a number of different things, approach it from a number of different perspectives, experience it from a number of different ways or paths. The idea is like saying that the soul sets up the hallway you will walk down, but the free will of the physical mind to determine how it will experience or walk down that hallway. It can run, it can skip, it can go backwards, forwards, upside down, side to side, crawl, you understand? So free will works in hand with the idea of destiny. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but
Yes.
if you can't change the past, how can that determine?
You do change the past.
How?
Change it all the time. Anytime you redefine who you are as a person, you actually create, in a sense, or shift to what you would call a different timeline. Thus, what you supposedly remember as your past will simply be relevant for the person you're defining yourself to be in the present. You may not even know that your past has changed, because it will seem like the past that has always been there relative to the person you are now. But it always changes. The past is the result of the present, not the other way around. Does that make sense?
Okay, I understand that. Yeah.
All right. Pay attention to your emotions, pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your behaviors, because your behaviors, your thoughts, and your emotions are always the result of something you believe to be true. So when you engage in any kind of action whatsoever, pay attention to what you're truly feeling. If you're honest with yourself, and it is truly being done out of integrity, out of alignment with your true self, then you will know that the feeling you're feeling is not excitement, but anxiety. And when you know it's anxiety, and you're doing it out of anxiety, or to fill the idea of an emptiness within you, then you know you're doing it for a negative reason. Find out what the negative belief is that would generate those feelings, and change it, and let go of it. And then you will find that you don't have those intentions, you don't have those feelings. And you will be now acting on things only in a positive and an aligned way. It's that simple. You just have to have the willingness to explore yourself honestly so that you can truly admit and own and acknowledge when you do have a negative idea, a negative feeling, and not gloss it over and cover it up and pretend that it's not there. There is nothing to fear about facing those things. You will only discover more of yourself in the exploration. The unknown only contains more of yourself. That's all it can contain. So there is no reason to fear exploring the unknown or exploring a negative belief that you might have as to why you have it. Exploring it and discovering it and having a conscious realization that you have it is what frees you to change it. If you push it down and push it away or ignore it or bury it, then it will only come back stronger next time, and it will be even more difficult to deal with. So it is the path of least resistance, as soon as you feel anything out of alignment, to deal with it and find out why it's there. And it will always come down to something that you have been taught to believe is true over something else. Decide what's true for you, really true for you, on your definitional level. And when you do that, then you'll be in alignment with yourself, and you will experience your life that way. And give everything that happens in your life a positive meaning if you want to experience a positive effect. If you give things negative meaning, the only effect you can get is a negative one. Because everything is neutral. And only the meaning you give it determines the outcome and the effect that you experience. And I don't mean the way it looks, I mean the way it is experienced by you. Because the idea and the proof of change is not that the outer world has changed. It's that you respond differently to it, even if it looks the same. That's the proof of change. And when you truly have changed, then the outer reflection can change, but not because it has to. Because you wouldn't care whether it changed or not if you were truly generating your own positive state. Because it wouldn't matter what would happen. You would know that no matter what happens, you will only get a positive effect in your life, regardless of what anyone else is getting out of it. And by acting as that positive example to others, you can show them that they can also choose to only experience positive effects in their life, should they so desire to. Not that they have to. All that makes sense?
Yes.
All right.
Bashar,
Yes.
can you tell me about masturbation?
What about it?
Good question.
Perhaps you will have to refer to Master Bates to ask that question.
Is it a positive thing or a negative thing?
Do you understand the idea that anything and everything can serve both functions? Everything is fundamentally neutral. So the idea is that any act can serve either a positive or a negative effect. It depends on how it's used. It depends upon the intention behind it. It depends upon the alignment of energy in which the act is done, or the lack of alignment in which the act is done. Every circumstance can serve positive or negative results.
If it's based on your highest excitement at the time.
Well, then you know the answer, yes?
Yes, okay.
But the idea is to pay attention and have the discernment as to why it is actually being done. And I mean anything, not just the example you provided.
But the concept and idea of preserving the semen in your body
Yes.
and not releasing it
Yes.
give you more powers or energy or...
It depends on how you use it.
It depends on how I use it.
Yes.
But if I release it and I can still sustain that capacity of energy...
Have you ever gone to the gym?
Yes.
Have you ever run?
Yes.
Have you ever sweated?
Yes.
Well, you released a lot of water from your body. Didn't you need it?
Yeah.
Did it reduce your power?
For temporary.
And then what did you do?
Regenerated.
Thank you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right, then there you go. You sweated it out for what you believed was a positive action, yes?
Yes.
You got positive benefits out of losing all that moisture from your body, yes?
Yes.
So you have to pay attention to the intention behind the act. If it is truly your excitement, then by definition it cannot harm you. The duty that you have is to be honest enough with yourself as to whether the intention behind it actually is positive or negative. Because many of you have the capacity to fool yourselves and think that you're doing something exciting when in fact it's not representative of your excitement. And vice versa.
So how do we know for sure?
You have to have honesty and willingness to explore and be honest with yourself about the motivations behind what you choose to do.
I see.
And if you are that honest and that willing, you'll figure it out.
I see.
Would you be able to tell me anything about the man that was known as Osho?
Define.
Osho Rajneesh?
Oh, all right. What do you wish to know?
Just if there's anything you could tell me that was why, like around his, the meaning he was here on Earth.
The meaning?
Does it seem like
the meaning was to experience the life that he experiences. The idea is to act as a reflection for those that need to look at things from a certain perspective.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Remember that any tool, any technique, any ritual, and any form of delivering information is nothing more than a permission slip that will attract those that require that permission slip to trigger themselves to be more of who they are. So different people will do it in different ways and present themselves in different ways that will be representative of a certain frequency and vibration that works for certain people. Doesn't mean it has to work for everyone. Even the information we deliver, we know, will not work for everyone. But the idea is that we represent the information along a certain frequency domain, and that frequency domain is something that many people will gravitate towards and utilize because they are of a similar frequency. Yes?
Okay.
So any such teacher, any such master, any such reflection is for the purpose of making sure that all the different belief systems that exist on your planet are accounted for and at least given an opportunity to find the information that is needed in the way that works best for them.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
Would you be able to tell me anything about this whole thing? There's some whole thing on the internet about the reevaluation of currencies around the world.
Well, eventually, you will find that your monetary system on your planet will change. It may not do so right away, but the idea is that you are already exploring the idea of how you can create a different form of exchange on your planet because you recognize that many of the old systems are no longer really viable for the way that you prefer things to be. It will exist for a while, but eventually, many years to come, you will find that your so-called medium of exchange will actually be the skills and abilities and gifts that people themselves have to give, have to share. This is the ultimate form of the exchange that will occur on your world eventually. But for a while you will experiment with and explore different ways of valuating and different ways of creating what you call credit and so on and so forth until such time as you realize that the only true value that exists in your world that is not arbitrary is the abilities and skills that you each have to give to one another. Yes?
Okay.
The idea of truly going forward with a true revamping of your modalities of exchange on your planet will also require the dissolving of many of your political, sociological, religious borders and ideas. And so as those all begin to change, everything will change together. One thing will inform another, and other things will inform this, and things will change, and this will change a little, and this will change a little, until you have a holistic system that works for you globally, eventually. Yes?
Yes.
The idea of selling your soul, does
Yes.
that actually exist?
Not literally in the way that you mean.
No.
But the idea is to simply compromise your integrity and be out of alignment with your true vibration. That's really all it means, is to not be true to yourself.
Okay, gotcha.
Hey, Bashar.
And you good day.
I love that. The measure of your success is by being you as much as you possibly can.
Yes.
That just feels so good. Thank
Yes,
you.
it does.
I have a question. The last event that I was at, the hybrid races, I had an experience where I felt like somebody else was in my body. It almost lasted.
Nope.
Okay.
That's not possible.
So,
You fill you up.
okay.
There is no room for anyone in you but you. What you're experiencing is a shift in your own frequency that allows you to experience yourself as a different being
Okay.
than you are used to experiencing yourself as.
Okay.
It's still you, it's just a different expression of you, a different level of you. It's another aspect of you.
Okay. So I was, I got really tired. I had to take a nap at the break. I felt.
Sometimes that happens when new energy comes in that you're not used to handling. You need to take it more easily. You need to absorb it with your physical mind out of the way.
Okay. And then I had a hard time with my memory, and
That's a good thing.
Okay. I love that. Tell me more about that.
We have no memory at all. Zero. We simply know that we will know what we need to know when we need to know it.
I know it.
Memory is created in the present. Doesn't really come from the past.
Yes.
So sometimes, now again, not always. There can be many reasons for this, some positive, some negative. But in general, what we're talking about is the idea that when you live in the moment, you don't need memory. You will know what you need to know in that moment based on the frequency you're at that is then commensurate with the information you need at that moment. That's the way it works.
Okay. And so there was a little bit of fear that came up because I actually was having a hard time driving, and I didn't recognize a few people.
All right. Well, that's all right. And you know, if that happens when you're driving, you can always pull over.
I eventually, because the next day it lasted, so I eventually had my friend drive us home, but I just kept feeling in and out.
That's fine. It's part of the process of reorienting. Remember, to reorient to a new reality, you have to disorient from the other one.
Okay.
So you're just in that limbo state of reorientation, attempting to find your compass needle and which way it's pointing again.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
It's part of the process. It's like shifting gears. You go through neutral to go into another gear, yes?
Yeah.
And in neutral, for a moment, the gears are spinning free.
Right.
That's part of the natural process of transformation and change. Ride with it, flow with it, enjoy it while it lasts. Yes?
Yes. And
It's like a mini vacation. In between parallel reality experiences when they click back into gear.
Okay.
Yes?
So basically your explanation is I was going into allowing new energies and transferring in between
An
parallel
upgrade of your own understanding of self, becoming more of who you are. Yes. But sometimes you will go through a little bit of a limbo state to allow that adjustment to click in a little bit more smoothly.
Okay, so it's okay if I don't remember people.
It's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it,
Yeah.
or you actually will know less. Yes?
Right.
Relax, and everything you need to know will come to you when it needs to. It's all right. It's all right sometimes, even with what you believe to be your best lifelong friend. I've just blanked on your name. It's all right. I'm going through a process here. It's all right. I haven't forgotten about you. I still love you. But right now, certain bits of information are simply not relevant for me to know right now.
Okay. And there was I was told it was the second most powerful full moon that weekend. Was there anything that had to do with the energy, or can you speak to that?
Well, again, that's a symbolic reflection of what's going on in the collective consciousness on a certain level. It's a big subject. We'll talk about that some other time.
Okay. And then I really loved that you brought up the masculine and feminine archetypes. Could you expand a little bit more on each archetype and what they represent?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
I love you.
Our love to you as well.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
First, I just wanted to thank you for your role in the expansion of my consciousness. So thank you for that.
We thank you for all of your roles in the expansion of ours.
I had received synchronicities for Maui for a few months. So I went to Maui last month.
And the heart chakra of the planet.
Yes, I love it there. And on the night before I went to Haleakala, I saw a face with one yellow eye, and I got the name Carlisle. But if you could help provide clarity on...
If you will excuse us for a moment, even though it doesn't translate through the channel's body, we are laughing.
What's funny?
Carlisle is a funny being. Kind of a trickster energy that is native to the islands.
Okay.
You are dealing with, again, the idea of the expression of a nature spirit, an aspect of the collective consciousness of your reality expressing itself in a certain way that is kind of tricking you toward more of yourself. Very playful kind of energy.
Okay. The trickster has been coming up a lot for me in oracle cards.
Well, there you go. You see, you have your own synchronicity with it.
Yes. And I feel oddly called to Maui in...
Oddly?
okay, I guess it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And there's something about the hybrid children where I feel like I'm going to have a role with that, but I don't understand why that nugget of information is being given to me this early.
Because Maui will be one of the sanctuaries for the hybrid children.
So sometimes when I'm meditating, I get faces of what I think are hybrid children. Like
sometimes they are and sometimes they're not.
Okay. So is that something I'm opening up more to? Should I be connecting with them?
Can't you answer that question yourself?
I want to, I guess is the answer.
Well, it's not about wanting to. It's about, are you doing it or aren't you doing it?
I'm not currently doing it.
Why not?
I have many excitements at the moment, and I'm having...
But you act on the one that is the highest, that you're the most capable of acting on, don't you? Are you following the formula?
I am starting to, yes.
All right, up to you. The idea is to act on the one that excites you the most, that you are most capable of doing something about. If there are more than one that seem to have equal capability to act on, then it doesn't really matter which one you choose, because the self-guiding principle that's built into it will turn you around to the other one if that one isn't the correct one for you at that moment.
I agree with that. I understand that.
Well, I'm glad you agree with the instruction manual of existence.
I think everything's going good, and that's it. Thank you.
You are welcome. Mahalo. Many, many, many in the years to come, because of the splitting of the parallel realities and the subsequent side effects on Earth, will move to Maui. Not sure why you're clapping for that, but just making an observation, that's all.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
How you doing?
Perfect, and you?
Really good, actually.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I have a lot of good questions. The first one is about the electromagnetic grid of the Earth.
Yes.
And the portals that open up.
Yes.
And people utilizing those portals for travel.
Yes.
Now, those portals
become more common and more consciously done on your planet in the years to come, although it does happen from time to time, now and then, randomly, and some people that are proficient at this can do that already on your planet, but it's not that many.
You mean proficiently, like simply with their physical body, activating the whole body system, electromagnetic?
Well, in other words, proficiently in the sense of being consciously aware of where the portals are, when they open, and passing through them.
Yeah. Now, when that happens, my question about that is,
yes.
Does that happen where a person walks through a portal and it's already designated to some extent where they're going to go, or is it?
It can be. Some portals are like that, and some portals kind of fluctuate.
Okay. So, like, consciousness plays a big part in it as well, where a person's focused?
Let's look at it this way. Let's talk about it dimensionally.
Yeah.
In one dimension, a portal is a point. In 2 dimensions, a portal is a circle that you can step through. In 3 dimensions, like your reality, a portal is a sphere. And that's also 4th dimensional, because then in time, the sphere moving in time becomes a cylinder, a tunnel, or what you would call a wormhole. Yes?
Yeah.
Then in 5th dimension, it becomes a hypersphere. And a hypersphere means that whatever point you enter will actually be a completely different tunnel to a different location, even though it's all connected to the same sphere. So your world has point portals, it has circle portals, it has sphere portals, it has wormhole portals, column portals, cylinder portals, if you will, and it has metaspheres, hypersphere portals as well. So each of them does a kind of different thing. Wormhole portals in general can be connected between 2 points, and sometimes it can fluctuate. But for the most part, it is the hyperspheres that are connected to multiple points, and depending on how you enter, where you enter, the angle of entry determines where you wind up on the other side.
So does the pineal gland utilize it? Do we utilize the pineal gland
Yes.
as a hypersphere?
The pineal gland is very, very critical for understanding how to navigate the portals and how to sense when they're open and where they go. So the production, the high production in the pineal gland of dimethyltryptamine, DMT, is crucial to reach a certain state of production and a certain vibratory frequency to be able to sense the portals more clearly and exactly what vibrational location they connect to.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Because the energy is basically information telling you
Yes.
what the portal is
Yes.
in detail.
Yes.
Okay.
And that translates strongly when the pineal gland is at a certain frequency based on the amount of DMT that it produces naturally.
Okay. And then with plant medicines,
Yes.
for let's say there's
Sometimes
MAO
that can
inhibitors.
open it up. The teachers that grow from the earth naturally can help open some of that up, yes.
Will that help with opening it up to a prolonged, long-term experience throughout a person's life?
That depends on you. In
Of
other
course,
words,
okay.
remember that what the plant teachers are teaching you is how to recognize that state, but you have to get to a place where you know you can simply recreate that state without the plant teacher. Otherwise, the plant teacher has just become a crutch or an addiction.
Right, because I feel that deep breathing actually activates the DMT more
Yes,
than
it does.
anything else I've ever experienced.
It is
with
one of the
plants.
reasons why, this is not something that the channel did consciously, it's one of the reasons why when you experience the idea of this state of our connection with the channel, you hear the breathing change.
Yeah.
It's actually pumping up the production of DMT, so it gives the channel's body more ability for us to utilize it in piercing into different dimensional realms to extract the information that we give to you.
All right, awesome.
It makes the channel a better translation device, a better telephone, in a sense.
Okay.
And a better switchboard.
All right. I have another question.
Yes.
About, you're talking about the hybrid children
Yes.
having certain locations on the Earth
Yes.
to help with the
evolution of your
of
planet
the
into the 6th hybrid race, yes.
Now, what about other aspects that we've been doing on Earth with our underground bases, our underwater bases, like Pine Gap and underwater bases in Guam area and
Yes,
stuff like
what
that?
about them?
Well, there's a lot of extraterrestrial interaction there, so there
Yes.
is a sense of meshing with humanity, but it's
There
in a
is,
different
but there
way.
are also a number of different agendas going on.
That's true. Yeah. So because we are doing that, but in a different way with different agendas,
Yes.
is there any way of bringing that more to the surface, or is that going to be too much for the collective?
It will eventually come out, but understand also that the different agendas are representative of different parallel realities that will have different experiences.
Okay. Okay. And then I have another question about how you guys track time or create calendars. Yeah, because, you know, on Earth, we actually track time and create
don't.
calendars and stuff.
We don't.
So is it more of
We
a-
operate on pure synchronism.
Okay, so it's more like subjective instead of objective. Of like
Because it is
great-
always subjective.
Okay.
Objectivity, in a sense, is your projected illusion, but it's a subjective point of view of objectivity.
Okay, so it's kind of like the ancient tribes around the planet. Some of them had calendars, but they saw every day as a celebration.
Yes, in a sense, you could put it that way. But again, pure synchronism allows us to simply know that we will be where we need to be, exactly when we need to be there, interacting with exactly who we need to interact with at that exact precise moment. We don't have to plan it.
Okay.
It just happens. Because we are all operating on synchronism. We're all operating in the now. Because everything happens now. But it happens in different versions of now. And by being our true selves, we automatically chart our course through all the different versions of now, and we wind up exactly where we need to be now. Does that help?
Yeah.
Obviously, we understand that there are natural cycles in the universe, day, night, things like that, We obviously can recognize that. If you want to say we're tracking that, that's fine. But we don't really look at it in a time-based way. Because for us, in our reality, it's far different than what you all may think. We're not just a bunch of extraterrestrials walking around on the surface of a planet. In our reality, because of our nature at this point, because we are quasi-physical, we actually experience our world as a multiplicity of dimensional experiences. We are walking through a dream after dream after dream after dream in multiple dimensions in many directions simultaneously.
Awesome. Yeah, more of that. That sounds great.
By following the formula, that's what happens eventually.
All right. Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Yes. Good day to you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
This is exciting.
Yes.
So, I've noticed in the last several years, I have interacted with strangers that sort of come to me, and it feels exciting, and we have a conversation, and in the next moment we part, and I no longer see that person. Like, they disappear completely.
Well, then they may have fulfilled the purpose of having met.
Are they someone who teleported here for
Not
a particular
necessarily,
purpose?
no. You all act as reflectors for one another. Sometimes it can be beings from other realms, but very often it doesn't need to be. You all can perform the task of being the reflections that you need in any given moment, so people will come in and out of your lives. If they specifically have a particular reason for being there at that moment, and whatever it is you need to get out of it to become more of yourself, that might also allow them at that moment to get what they need to become more of themselves, then the purpose of the meeting may have been fulfilled and you may never need to see them again. And it can be as simple as that, and they can be just as human as you.
Sometimes it's just a touch, too, I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Again, sometimes it might be something from somewhere else, but not all the time, and probably not even most of the time. Because again, you can all serve that function for each other as reflections of one another. That's what relationships are for. Reflecting to each other what you each need to know to become more of yourself, to support the other in that process. Yes? Okay. And it can happen the way you have described it. That may just be your particular way of gathering that information. Sort of like one of your bees flitting from flower to flower to gather pollen. That bee may never see that flower again, but it's got what it needs, so it moves on.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
So you might just be a busy little bee.
Or a hummingbird. I feel like a hummingbird sometimes.
All right, or a hummingbird. Animal of your choice.
Okay. I, in the last several months, have been seeing the number 27.
That's your synchronicity marker then.
What does that mean?
Many times when you have those kinds of numerical synchronicities, they act as road signs or markers to let you know that at that particular moment, you're exactly in the state you need to be in. Stay there. It reminds you, it reflects to you, hey, you're in that state again. Be there.
And what does that have to do with today's topic of 2027?
You tell me. It's your synchronicity. How does it reflect to you? Does it add to the idea that the 27 keeps coming up for you in all sorts of interesting ways to let you know that you are correctly aligned with your path? And that you are exactly where you need to be?
Yes.
Then you have your answer.
That makes sense.
Yes, it does. That's why I said it.
Right. All right. A couple of years ago, I saw a UFO on a very busy street corner.
The UFO was actually on the corner, or you were?
Well, I was in a car on the corner of Ventura Boulevard and
And where was the vehicle, the craft? You're calling a UFO.
Yes, it was square shaped, and it was pretty much right above me.
Yes, color.
It was nighttime. I'm not exactly sure, but it did have a a
Lights?
ring of light
All
around
right.
it that kept changing color.
All right.
And it was square shaped.
All right. And so?
So I'm wondering who it was and why were they there?
Oh, all right. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
There is an airport nearby. There are planes taking off right now. Who is on them?
People.
You think we keep track of every single spaceship?
No.
All right. So, I can't necessarily tell you who precisely.
Maybe the type of extraterrestrial.
I can't tell you that either, not because I don't know, but because I'm not supposed to.
Why is that?
I can't tell you why. All I can tell you is this. There's no accident in the timing, but the best way to understand it is what kind of a state did it put you in when you had the experience? That's the reason for it. That much I can tell you. So, what did you experience in that state? How did you feel?
Excited.
And? Anything else? Did you feel more connected to
Yes.
realities beyond yourself?
Yes, absolutely.
Then that's a signal and a marker for you that that feeling, anytime you remember what that felt like, even if it doesn't feel the same again, you're in that state, and therefore come from that state in all the actions that you take. That's what will serve you best.
That makes sense.
That's how to use it. Yes?
Yes.
In time, we may be able to tell you more specifically who it was, but right now it doesn't serve you to know that, and it is not the appropriate timing for us to divulge that information.
Is that being or several beings, is that related to who rang my doorbell? I think it was either that night or a couple nights after.
No. That's something different as we read your energy.
Can you tell me about that experience?
No. It isn't timing for these things.
Okay. And all right, around the same time as when I saw the UFO,
Yes.
I was in a meditation and I saw myself interacting with an extraterrestrial.
Yes.
And I asked him his name and he said Bashar.
Nope.
That wasn't you.
Nope.
Why did I get the name Bashar?
Because you're familiar with us and the vibration of that being is similar to ours, so you assumed it was us. But it's your own future self that's connected to our society. So the word Bashar is simply your translation, because remember, we don't have names. Bashar is not my name.
Right.
It's a recognition of a vibration. It's the recognition of what I do, because Bashar simply means messenger. So it was simply saying, I have a message. I'm a messenger. The translation into Bashar is simply what you're familiar with. That's why your brain translated the vibration, I'm a messenger, into the word Bashar. Yes?
Interesting.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yes.
But it's you interacting with your own future self.
I like that.
All right. And that gives you the biggest hint I can possibly give you about the UFO.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, fly away, little hummingbird.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Such a pleasure to communicate with you.
And for us as well to communicate with you.
Thank you. What's my frequency?
Right now, about 145 to 157,000 cycles per second.
Okay. When I
Does
was,
that really tell you anything?
I just think like compared to Jesus and Buddha and then your
Well,
vibration.
Jesus and Buddha were up in the 300,000 cycle per second range because they were truly being more of all that is.
Okay.
None of you are going to be in that range for a little while. You can be, but you're going through processes to recognize the awakening of the Christ consciousness and the Buddha nature within each of you. That's what those messages were all about. You are all Buddhas. You are all Christs because you are all children of God.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And last month when I was taking quantum healing with my friend, I started channeling something called Zeus. What is it?
What can you translate as that word?
I felt like E.T. I was almost like felt like dying. I felt like very suffocating, dizzy, and it was.
So you were not used to handling that energy that quickly.
Well.
So it was something saying, hello, I'm here.
Right.
We can work together.
Right.
But I can only touch in briefly at the moment because you can't handle this energy yet.
Well, I just let them do whatever. I just let the resistance go, and I started feeling the energy, and they gave me a lot of answers.
Okay. Then you adapted very quickly. It touched in and got you used to the idea of what the energy felt like. You were willing to match that frequency and therefore establish a link and a communication channel. So, congratulations. What do you want to do with that? Now that you have established that link and can access information in the way that you prefer to, how does it excite you to use that ability?
Okay. It just happened next day too. While I was
didn't ask you that. I asked you, how are you excited to use that ability?
like I'm gonna communicate with them.
All right, you're going to continue to communicate. You're going to continue to understand the answers to the questions that you have. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, and you will do that up to a certain point until you feel you have a deeper understanding of the connection, of the link, and of the information that you're receiving. And then what will you do with that information?
Okay.
What will you do with that information when you have enough?
I apply to my life.
Apply to your life, yes. Anything else? Any other expression that seems right for you?
What? Right? What? Highest excitement? What?
Right.
Right.
For you?
Oh, right.
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 For you?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Are you excited to be writing?
Yes.
Oh,
Writing.
you sound so excited.
Writing. Writing.
Well, you're not there yet. That's all right. But that may be where it's leading, that you can then bring through information, writing it down in a kind of automatic way, or creating the ideas, penning them down in that way, and going from there. Yes?
Who are they?
I'm not telling you that.
Okay.
But they are, for now, the idea of the muse, inspiration, linking, creating a bridge and a connection for your own higher self to bring through more information in a way that's right for you. Yes?
Yes. Sounds very exciting.
It is. Keep going. It will get even more exciting.
Thank you. And another thing is, since last year, I'm working on my self-esteem, self-image.
Yes.
And so I
Yes.
write something like whenever I feel something negative, I write it down and then let it go.
Oh, you write
Write
it
it
down
down.
and let it go.
Let it go. I feel
Writing is already working for you.
Yes, it works.
All right. Well, congratulations.
It really works. And
All right. That's your permission slip. That's what gives your belief system the permission to let go of beliefs that don't work for you. Everyone has a different permission slip.
so every moment I'm brand new.
Repeat that.
Every moment I'm a new person.
You are new every moment, yes. Now you say it. Every moment I am new.
Every moment I'm new.
And now you say it. Took a while to catch on.
Every moment I'm brand new. I'm new.
Every moment I am new. Every moment I am new. Every moment I am new. Every moment I am new. Every moment I am new. Every moment I am new. Because you are literally new every moment. Literally a new person every moment. with a new past, as we discussed last night, with a new future every moment. Every change changes your past and your future because it has to all be one historic line in your space-time reality. So every change you make, every time you become a new person, every moment, that new person has to have a new past that makes logical sense in your space-time reality that would have had to happen to create that new person linearly. So you're constantly changing your past and your future from the present, from the now. That's why now is your point of power and why the past and the future are illusions that simply exist simultaneously with you. They're not really in the past. They're not really in the future. They all exist now.
So everything exists now.
Yes.
Future and past are illusion.
Yes.
Why my subconscious seems like holding some...
Because of what you are defining yourself to be now. Because you're creating the illusion of continuity that says, my past is real and affects me now. So I will hold on to things, beliefs that I don't prefer, because I believe more strongly that I have no way of letting them go because my past affects my present, when that's not necessarily true. You have to change your belief about your relationship to time, because time is an illusion.
Right. Right.
I know.
Right. But...
But?
But sometimes I cannot handle it.
Yes, you can. It's just that you have a belief that you can't. Remember, negative beliefs don't want you to let them go. So negative beliefs will reinforce the idea that you can't handle letting them go in order to not let them go. You have to see through that as a trick of the negative belief. Again, it's not malicious. It's just the way they're designed, because all beliefs are designed to perpetuate themselves. If they weren't designed to perpetuate themselves, you wouldn't have a physical experience. You would never be able to believe anything is true. But you have to understand that the negative beliefs will use all sorts of other negative aspects in order to get you to not let them go, to perpetuate themselves. In other words, positive beliefs are telling you what's true about you. Negative beliefs are telling you what's not true about you. So they have to work harder to get you to believe what's not true. And they will do that by using such things as fear, or the belief that you can't handle something, or many other devices. But you have to understand that's just what they do, so you won't let them go. The fear, when it grows, the more fearful you become. That tells you that the negative belief has to work that much harder, because it realizes you're getting close to letting it go. So the more afraid you are, the closer you are to letting the fear go. That's the trick. You have to see through that and just keep going.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Does this help?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
That's enough for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
My friend.
That's enough for now. Thank you.
My friend.
That's enough for now.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good day to you.
Good day to you. Thank you. Okay, I had a question. It seems pretty crazy now that I'm up here.
Crazy questions are the ones we love.
All right. When I was really young, I was playing...
You mean like yesterday?
Definitely not yesterday. I was in 3rd, 4th grade somewhere.
Yes.
And I was playing in the sandbox.
Yes.
And I saw what I feel like a little flying saucer. It was like really small, like the size of like a sequin on like a garment, that type of stuff.
All right, yes.
And then I looked up and I put my hands up for some reason. And then I saw it fly into my fingernail.
Yes.
And then my fingers started hurting really bad, but I can't remember if it was just if I'm really remembering it, or if...
Well, in a sense, it's a connection. It's an information and energy download. In a sense, it's kind of like information to help orient you at that time, to help you remember more of who you truly are, what your path is in life, the themes you've chosen to explore. It's not literally what you would call a flying saucer, but the idea of a mote of information delivered to you so that you can absorb it, allow yourself to process it, Allow it to be expanding within your consciousness, applying it in your reality. In many ways, those kinds of deliveries, those kinds of information downloads have brought you to where you are today. In other words, you already knew that you would be accessing those kinds of things, that those kinds of gifts would be given to you as they're given to all of you, to bring you to this conversation and beyond so that you can see the continuity of the path you've created in that way. But it also lets you know you always have help. There are always those watching. There are always those guiding. There are always those willing to help give you what you need. It's up to you, of course, to take it in and absorb it. It's your choice. But it's no more mysterious than that and not really crazy at all. Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And the fact that it was delivered to you while you were playing in the sandbox gives you an understanding that your entire world is a sandbox that you can play in. And if you play more, you are more capable of being sensitive to receiving those kinds of help from other levels, other beings, other guides, and creation itself. So allow yourself to know that your finger is on the pulse and that you can reach out at any time and know that someone is always reaching back. Yes?
Thank you.
Does this help you?
Yes, it does.
Anything else?
No, that'll be all.
All right, thank you so very much.